welcome back to another episode of Come Correct with Christ, Triple C or CCC, whichever one you prefer. I'm your host, Vuyolwetu, and if you don't know me, we're not here for me. We're here for the big C. So take a seat and come taste and see as we sip on this tea in its entirety. Welcome back. I'm excited to be on the couch again, even though it's a chair this time. But yeah, today's topic, guys, I think this might be the most difficult episode I shoot because I didn't want to do this so soon, but we are talking about my testimony. So yeah, I can't say I'm excited this time, but we'll do it out of the obedience of the Holy Spirit. But before we get into that, let's get into saved sounds. Let's get into saved sounds that I saved because we're saved. This week we have a song called Home by Naomi. Guys, I love this song. It's R&B, it's chilled, it literally feels like a hug. And the lyric that I picked, guys, I was told I pronounce lyric wrong. So lyric instead of lyric or whatever. But this week's lyric is, let nothing distract you from that call, so won't you come back home? I chose this lyric because this past week, I unfortunately lost my mother. And so on Sunday, I went to church because I needed church, I needed community, I needed worship, I needed a message. And he was preaching about, the name of the message was Come Out and Look Up, right? And he was preaching about how you shouldn't let anything, not even despair, grief, depression, anything distract you from your call or the purpose that God has called you to. So this really spoke to me this week. Let nothing distract you from that call and come back home. Don't look around you. Don't look at your circumstances. Look up at God because He is the one who leads you, guides you, comforts you. He loves you. He loves me. And I needed that reminder. So that's the lyric that I picked. So yes, it is called Home by Naomi. It will be on the playlist. So come join the party. And then album of the week is called Young and Restless by Josh P. I have another hip hop rap album for you guys. I'm realizing I actually do like rap because I thought I was an R&B girly, but like these days, sounds that I saved because we're saved are definitely rap music. So Young and Restless by Josh P. One of the songs will also be on the playlist. Yeah, that is it for saved sounds. Okay, let us get into today's topic, my testimony. You're probably wondering, why do you have notes for your testimony? But guys, this is the most ill-prepared I've ever been for an episode, and it's messing with my psyche. So I needed at least a few talking points just to guide me. So I'm not curating a story. I just needed a few talking points. When God told me He wanted me to share my testimony, I couldn't believe it because honestly, I shot an intro video that's on CCC's Instagram, my Instagram, TikTok, it's everywhere. And I thought that would suffice, like just to give people a context of who I am. But clearly He wants me, to go into the full story because He doesn't get the full glory if I don't tell the full story. And even now, I don't think I'll be able to, but I'll try. I don't like talking about myself or my testimony in particular, which is crazy to say as a Christian. But the reason is I don't like how people look at me after I tell my story. It's all these looks of pity and, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And it's like, I really, really hate that. Like, I don't want your perspective of me to change just because of what I've gone through, because my past isn't who I am. I am God's daughter. My future is more of who I am than my past is. So yeah, I didn't want to talk about it, but we're here. And I really hope you guys can get something from this, because this is a huge sacrifice. And I pray that God's name is glorified and that you see him truly for who he is through my story. So, yeah. Hi, I am Vuyolwetu Mpongose. I am a first daughter born to my mother, who just recently passed away. So on my mother's side, I'm a firstborn of 3. I'm the only girl. And then on my father's side, I'm I don't even know what number I am. There's a lot of us. But yeah, I'm one of them there. I'm one of 4 girls. I'm the second born girl. So yeah, I was born to my mother, who then left to go work in Durban. So she left me with my grandmother. Essentially, my childhood was spent with my grandmother. That lady raised, I don't think anybody's ever loved me the way that that lady loved me. She cherished me. She literally saw me as her pride and joy, and just her love for me shaped me into such a feisty, confident little girl. Like, whenever I hear stories being told of my childhood, I'm literally so shocked, because I'm like, that ain't me anymore. You know, she just sounds so feisty, so strong, so outgoing, so confident. I mean, I remember in preschool, we had this jungle gym. It was the main jungle gym. And I was such a leader and so confident, to the point where I was assigned leadership over the jungle gym. I didn't give this title to myself, but they said, yeah, no, Vuyo owns the jungle gym. You can't play on it unless you ask her. And I would sit at the top every break time. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was a good time. And I think it's just a testament of who God created me to be strong and confident and take up space. And it was all thanks to my grandmother that I was that way, because nobody could tell me nothing. Like, that's because my grandmother told me everything about who I was. And she was such a praying woman. She was an avid praying woman. And I think that's definitely why she was able to bring out in me the me who God created me to be. So I loved that woman, loved her, still love her down. That's my girl, and I know I'm still her girl. But she unfortunately passed away in 2010 when I was 7 years old. So when she passed away, I stayed with my grandfather for a little bit. And then after a couple of months, my aunt, who I call my mom, she's my adoptive mom. So I have a birth mother and I have an adoptive mom. So my aunt, she came to take me in, because it was just not sustainable at staying with my grandfather. He wasn't healthy anymore. So her and her husband came to take me in. And then I moved in with them, and I was so excited, because like their family, I grew up in Springs, that's like in the townships. So their family was the one that I looked up to and I idolized. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're the ones who spoke the fluent English and went to these prestigious schools. Like, I was like, yo, I'm about to go live the life, you know? Also, I was like best friends with her youngest daughter, who I call my sister. So I was like, hey, I'm going to live with my best friend. Like, it's about to be up, you know? So yeah, she came, she took me in, and then I moved to Alberton, where they stayed. And yeah, that is the home that I grew up in. That's where I call home. Her and my dad, who is her husband, I call them my parents because they're my parents. They raised me, and their children they have 3 kids. So from that family, I am a third born of 4. Right? So I have an older sister, an older brother, then it's me, then it's my younger sister, the one I was best friends with. So yeah, that is my family. That was my new family. That's who I call my family now, and that's where I grew up. It wasn't as glamorous as I thought it would be. It was quite the toxic home. yeah, my parents didn't have the best relationship. So we'd often like witness a lot of drama, a lot of fighting. I mean, every second week, people are fighting and like threatening to off each other. It was just not cute at all. And on top of that, like the main source of all this chaos and all the drama at home was my mom. She was very emotionally and verbally and psychologically, even sometimes physically abusive. And yeah, she's I'm trying to remain respectful of her. So, because this is not about her. This is about God. This is about my story and you seeing God through that. But yeah, it was just a really toxic home. Like she would say things to me like, you'll never amount to anything, or, you know, she would constantly and avidly, loudly remind me that I'm not even supposed to be there, and she would threaten to take me back to my grandfather, and it was really bad. So yeah, and it wasn't just me, like she was abusive to all of us as siblings, and we all speak about that house like we escaped from, I don't know, an insane asylum or something. But yeah, I grew up there, and because of all that abuse and all that drama, I mean, these fights that they would have, my siblings and I, they would happen so often, we started calling them episodes because they would go on like the entire night, and the cops would get involved, and someone is going to the hospital, and it's just a big thing. So we'd call them episodes, and that happened a lot, and obviously that leaves scars, you know, in the heart, in the mind. So yeah, I'm just trying to paint you guys a picture of the kind of home I grew up in without sparing too many details, and with, you know, due respect to the parents who raised me. So yeah, because of all of that toxicity, my siblings were all I had. We were all each other had. We were very close, tight-knit pack of siblings. But more especially, I was the closest with my younger sister, Tsuelo. Oh, guys, that was my girl. Like literally 2 peas in a pod. We were tied at the hip, like with super glue. Okay, you could not separate us. I remember this one time, because of the home we were growing up in, we were both in a psychiatric hospital at the same time. So our respective psychologists told us that you guys are too codependent. Because in my sessions, all I would do is talk about Tuelo. In her sessions, all she would do is talk about me. Like, it was just so intertwined, because we literally ended up becoming one. And our psychologists were like, no, this is not healthy. And then we came back home and we were telling each other the story. And we were like, well, period then. We codependent. What you gonna do about it? It's gonna be for life. Like, we were literally planning to go to the same varsity, after varsity, stay together, get married to maybe twins or something, and stay in like the same house that's divided by a tunnel, like that close, okay? Like we're one person. So yeah, she was my girl. We were literally each other's survival in that abusive home. We were each other's soundboard, each other's anchor. We were the only reason the other was still alive. And so, yeah, from that, we continued. Oh, COVID happened. Yes, in 2021, COVID happened, and now we were stuck in that house all day, every day. No school, no visiting, no outings. I mean, in terms of visiting and outings, we were technically not allowed even before, because our mother was very controlling. Like, we weren't allowed to go see anyone other than the people that she knew, as in her friends' kids, or like, and even then it's like, you need to be back at a certain time, or like after only one, like it was very controlling, you know. So 2021 came, there was no breaks. Like, it was so bad that school became our happy place. Like, whenever it's after school, it's like, oh, now we have to go home, and other people are excited. They're like, yo, I can't wait to go home, or like they can't wait to get home, sit on the couch, watch TV and eat a meal after school. But us, we're like, I'd rather be here. Okay, I'd rather be in this waiting area, hungry as I am, than to go home. But yeah, then 2021 came. We were stuck at home all day, every day. And things got really bad, really, really bad. My mom, she stopped working. She was medically boarded because, yeah, I won't get into why, but she was medically boarded from work. So she stopped working. So she was there all day, every day. And it was just, yeah, thinking back to it is just, getting like PTSD. And yeah, I'm really trying to express myself, articulate myself properly, but I keep thinking back there, and let me take a breath. Okay, so we had to be there the whole time. She was there the whole time, and she started getting into some really dark things, dark magic, buloi, Hogwartsery, whatever you call it, But yeah, she started getting into that stuff. So everything that was already happening, that was already wrong with our home, just got amplified, because all of this got involved and integrated into our daily livelihood. Sometimes she's burning something, and on the stove, like, she would mix like onion and some weird stuff, guys, like cayenne pepper, and she's burning it on the stove. So now we all have to remove ourselves from the house, go wait outside until the smoke has calmed down enough for us to be able to breathe in the house. Like, this was just, it was bad. Just know it was bad. So, seeing as it was COVID and we couldn't go anywhere or do anything, we were just stuck with that toxicity, with that treatment, with that voice of hers, with that dark cloud that felt like was over our house all day, every day. Our mental states got worse because our older sister had left. She was like our anchor. Like she's who I would call my second mom. Like, she took care of us. She's the one who introduced me and Tuelo to Christ. I mean, she's the reason why I'm here today. If it wasn't for her, I promise you I would not be sitting here today, both emotionally, mentally, and physically. So I'm really grateful for her, and I love her to bits, and I know she's watching. So, hey, Sofa, I love you. But yeah, so she had moved out. Our older brother had moved out as well. So it was just us and our parents in the house. So our mental states just got worsened, and Tuelo's especially, because she was the sweet, like, I haven't met everybody in the world. I can tell you, though, for free, that she was the best person in the world. She was so sweet. She was like a ray of sunshine, and with that came a very sensitive soul. So she really, or what was happening was already bad, but to her it was like really bad, So yeah, she just, got deeper and deeper into depression, and so did I. And it was really bad. Like, my life became trying to keep her alive because she had multiple attempts, like during COVID, multiple attempts, I think like 4. And it was just getting worse each time. And I mean, you tell our parents, you tell my mom, she doesn't really do anything about it. It was just really bad. So I was the one left to like watch over her and make sure she's okay and make sure she's not stressed, or if something even tiny goes wrong, like maybe she's having a bad day and the dishes are like piling up, I'll even do them even if it's hurting. Like, I was just so focused on keeping her alive because I needed her to be alive. So yeah, and then COVID ended, but it literally took us with it. Like, there was nothing left of us. We were both deeply, deeply depressed. We had both had multiple attempts. I mean, all of us had attempts, all of our siblings, but we had just had more because of COVID. So yeah, COVID ended. We finally got back to school, I guess. And then, unfortunately, in 2022, Zwelo passed away. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, in 2022, in June, the 6th of June, no, 2021, actually, sorry, my bad. 6th of June, 2021, she passed away. She took her life. And yeah, that was the worst day of my life ever to this day. That day and the day of her funeral, top two worst days of my life. But yeah, obviously after losing her, because of how close we were, I don't even know how to explain the kind of grief that I went through. I mean, it was bad. It was bad, and it still is bad. I'm still going through grieving her, and I'm still missing her every single day, and I think about her every single day. Not a day goes by. And growing up in that home, I had learned to disappear. Like, I completely disappeared because being seen in that house meant being perceived, and if you were perceived, then you were open to scrutiny and judgment and being told that you're not going to make it in life, and that you're useless, and that you're worthless, and that you are exactly not what you think you are. So my safe space was in disappearance. So I just disappeared behind being a part of that dynamic duo that was Zwelo and I, and I was okay just being. She had such a big personality, so she was like kind of the star of our duo. Like, she was feisty, she was confident, she was strong, she was a singer, she was the one who was on social media and doing all the big things. And because she was more outspoken than me, she established that, I guess, picture of herself. She established that narrative about herself. And so I couldn't, take up space because she had already taken up space, and everybody else just adapted to that. And with me disappearing and not saying much and hiding, and her being so outspoken, that became our dynamic. Like, she was basically the face of the duo, and I was just like her sidekick, and not in a self-deprecating way, I think the most beautiful of ways. I loved being next to her. I loved watching her shine and being her little lights and whatever she needed. I loved it. So yeah, she was the star, and I just hid behind her, and I was happy too, because as long as I was next to her, I was okay. So yeah, that was our duo. That was our dynamic. And so when she passed, I mean, having already hidden all those years, I hid even more. Because, like I said, by the last year before she passed away, my sole purpose for life, my sole reason for being was to keep her alive. I abandoned everything about myself. I abandoned time for myself. I low-key even abandoned school. Like, my marks started dropping and hers started skyrocketing. And as long as I wasn't failing and she was alive, I was okay. So yeah, when I lost her, I didn't know who to be. I didn't have a reason for being. I felt like it felt like an out-of-body experience. Like, I felt like maybe I left with her and my body just stayed behind, and that body doesn't know what to do with this life anymore. So yeah, it was a really bad depression. I was admitted to a psychiatric hospital again. That didn't do much. I had a few attempts of my own. It was really bad. But yeah. Then we had her funeral. After her funeral, my sister took me in, the one who's my second mom. she took me in because it was bad, guys. Like, it was so bad that everybody knew for a fact that if I hadn't left when I did, it was me next. And not even like me next in a couple of years or like months, me next within the next weeks. Like, it was that bad. So she was like, I need to take you with me. So yeah, I mean, they had a fight with my mom because my mom didn't want me to leave. She wanted me to stay in that dark house in the room I shared with my sister. I don't know, maybe she wanted to add to the trauma or something. I don't know. But yeah, so my sister fought my mom, and there was a lot of praying and fasting going on from my birth mom, from my biological dad, from my aunts. Everybody who knew the situation and how bad it was praying that I'm able to move out of that house. And by the grace of God, I was able to. So I moved out, I moved in with my sister. And yeah, then I had my matric year, 2022. Yeah, it was obviously still hard because I was still grieving the death of my sister. But I just knew that, I guess I knew I had to continue because that's what everybody was doing. But me personally, I was telling my psychologist this, that I didn't have any ambitions of my own. I didn't have any will for life. I didn't even know I had talents. I didn't know I had gifts. I didn't know anything about myself because, like I said, my life was revolving around Zwelo. In the earlier years, just being her sidekick and kicking with her. In the later years, trying to keep her alive. So I had no me. There was no me to know because I hid myself so far deep down, so far away that I didn't even know where to start looking. So I did matric because everybody, that's the next thing after grade 11, I guess, but I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be alive. And yeah, so I did matric. And then at the end of my matric year, my dad passed away. I remember I was writing finals. And yeah, we don't have to get into how it happened, but yeah, he passed away. He was offed by someone, and yeah, that was just another difficult season of my life because this time I was writing matric finals and I had to finish. I couldn't pause my whole life because my dad had passed away. Everybody who was speaking to me was saying, you cannot stop, you need to make him proud, you need to finish matric. So yeah, the day he passed away, I was writing life science paper 2, I remember. And yeah, I did horribly on that paper, as you can imagine. But yeah, I lost my dad, and now I was grieving someone else. Someone who took me in and loved me like his own. Like, my mom was the toxic one. My dad, he was just a little negligent because he had an alcohol problem. But I think that's because he was also depressed from being married to my mom and experiencing all the toxicity that we were experiencing. So I don't even blame him for that. I'm so grateful for him because I never once felt like I wasn't his kid. Like, I am the daughter of Hosi through and through and through. That is my dad. So yeah, he passed away, and now I was grieving someone else, like I said, and I ended up finishing matric. And yeah, it was a really tough end of the year and a tough 2023 because yeah, man, I lost all my friends. Like, just before my dad passed, all my friends and I had a fallout. Very, very, very dumb reasons, but all my friends and I had a fallout. So I went through that process of grieving on my own. I had nobody, because even my family, they were all at my dad's home in Soweto, trying to prep for the funeral and everything, and they were most of the time there. And I had to stay home and study for finals. So I was home alone most of the time, that entire time. Just me and God. Me and God the whole time. I remember this one morning I had to go write a paper. I think it was English paper 3. And I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. And so I prayed to God. I said, Lord, I don't want to go, right? I really don't want to go, right? And I'm going to need your strength to be able to go and write. So I told him that, and I went back to sleep. I went back to sleep. I woke up an hour later, and there was an hour left before my paper. So when I woke up, I had randomly, or miraculously rather, the strength to go and write this paper. But I was obviously now very late, like extremely late. So I try and scramble, get ready, trying to rush. I request to go to school and everything. And by some miracle, when I got to school, they hadn't started. Like, I was 30 minutes late, and they hadn't started with the paper because it was late to arrive or something. But that was literally God. Like, that's a mini testimony right there. But yeah, I'm just trying to paint you a picture of just how bad it was and how depressed I was during that time. But I finished matric. And then I went into 2023, took a gap year, because I was like, I've been through a lot. And not only that, I don't even know what I want to do. I don't know who I'm meant to be. I don't know who I am right now. So there's no way I'm going into varsity right now. So I took a gap year. And with the passing of both my sister and my dad, I was not grand January of 2023. And I had my final attempt. So what happened was I woke up this one morning and I was like, I don't think I'm meant to be here. Like, nothing in this life is saying that I'm meant to be here. And it was the day after we received our matric results. Obviously, because of my dad's passing, I didn't do very well. I passed, but I didn't do as well as I wanted to. I mean, I was used to being a merit student, getting A's, straight A's, be here and there. Like, I was that kind of student. And my marks had dropped in the latter years of high school, but not to the extent of my matric finals. So I was really, really disappointed. So yeah, I had gotten my results. I was really disappointed. My siblings were very supportive and understanding of it, but I wasn't. I was just done. I was done. So I woke up and I was home alone. And I lived that day. I think I just slept the whole day or something. And then in the evening, I called one of my old friends. I called him, we had a chat. It was basically like a goodbye call, but obviously he didn't know that. So yeah, we had a chat. And then when I hung up, I went into the kitchen and started on my plan. So we have a medicine cabinet at home. I took every single pill in that cabinet, whether it was pain medication, sleeping medication, Allergex, everything. Okay, I took it, I drank it with water, swallowed it and everything. Then I left a few to like crush them, because I read that it's more potent that way. So I left a few, I crushed them. And then I poured myself a drink. I think it was apple juice. Poured myself apple juice, put the stuff in there, the pills in there. And then on top of all of that, I put eye drops and nasal spray into this concoction that I was making. So I mix it, and yeah, you can imagine it tasted horrible, like apple juice or not. But I just downed it in one go, and yeah, I remember I made myself a dessert. I poured myself some ice cream, sat down to watch Big Bang Theory, and just waited for it to take effect. I watched Big Bang Theory. It was a really, really funny episode. I enjoyed it. And the medication started taking effect. And I hope you don't. But if you know, whenever you overdose, it feels very, I don't know how to explain it, but you feel extremely sick. Like your body's trying to get all those pills out, so you feel nauseous, you feel like I was very delusional, I was very delirious. It was bad, but I was like, as long as I can just get to sleep, because I know once I sleep I won't wake up. So I was just waiting to sleep, and then being on the couch got extremely uncomfortable, so I went to my room and I tried to go to sleep. I'm tossing, I'm turning, it's so bad, and I'm like, I cannot take these medications out. I cannot go to the bathroom and vomit right now because it needs to stay in. It needs to do its job. So then eventually I fall asleep. I fall asleep, and like, I don't think this was a sleep. I think I just went unconscious because I don't remember the process of being asleep. I just remember waking, like I remember going to sleep and then what felt like a moment later waking up, but I went to sleep. This was on a Friday. And then on Sunday, or was it Monday? I think it was Sunday morning. I get woken up by my brother. Apparently he's here to visit. I get woken up by him, and that clearly means that I slept throughout the entirety of Sunday. I mean, the entirety of Saturday and even a little bit of Sunday. I remember waking up, realizing that I'm alive and being so disappointed. Anyway, he wakes me up, he's like, are you well? Like, you've been sleeping for basically 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. I'm trying to keep it cool, not show any symptoms of the fact that I might have overdosed or anything. He's like, let's go for a drive. He gets me out of bed, and he's like, you driving today? I'm like, driving? I was still very delirious, guys. I was still extremely dizzy. I did not even know what's happening. Like, it felt like I kept coming in and out of my body. Like, that's how my brain felt. So I was like, hey, I don't know how I'm going to drive, but I can't say I'm not going to drive, because I was still learning how to drive at that point. So every chance I had to drive, I jumped at it. So if this was the one time I was like, no, thank you, it would have been like, why? So I was like, okay. So then we get in his car and I drive up the street and back down. I have a very foggy memory of that drive, but apparently I made it. So we get back. When we get back, City, I know he's watching. I'm sorry. I scratched his car. I scratched his car by the gate, obviously because of the fact that I was very delirious. I scratched his car. He was very nice about it, though, very kind, very forgiving, and I really appreciated that. And I wonder if he knows that's why. Like, to this day, I wonder if my siblings were aware of what happened, because I don't remember how I was acting. Like, to me, as far as I can remember, I was fine, but like, I don't know, like, did they know and choose not to say anything? Like, I don't know. So then we got back from the drive, and apparently it was my brother's friends. Like, I found this out recently, because at the time we drove back in, I scratched the car, everyone's like, whoa, because there were a bunch of guys outside. I, in my memory, thought it was like, there was just like, there were shadows of bodies. I couldn't tell who they were in my memory. Even at the time, I couldn't tell who these people were. Like, I thought maybe my brother-in-law's workers or something. I didn't know who they were. But I found out recently that they were my brother's friends. So they all asked me, like, are you okay? Like, what happened? What's going on? Are you fine? And I'm trying really hard to be like, yeah, I'm fine, leave me alone. So then, cool, eventually I go back in the house. And yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there for now, because I've said a lot. I've said quite a bit. And yeah, I think I'm going to make it a 2-part thing, because my testimony is very long. And like I said, God doesn't get the full glory unless I tell the full story, and I don't want to rush this. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now. I hope this blessed you as much as it could have. Next week we're getting into part 2, where God comes in, where I finally get to meet the God that I know and love and want to tell you guys all about. And don't worry, the last part is very, very, very hopeful. It's a beautiful story. It's not as dark and gloomy as this was. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into part 1, and let's get into last verse standing. Let's get into this week's last verse standing. This one's not lost, it's lasting. Rooted in our oblongata. God said it. Let's catch it like it's manna and not data. Yes, we are back with the last verse standing after 2 weeks. I'm not going to lie to you guys, okay? Last week's verse, I know it's still in my heart, but I don't remember it well enough to recite it right now. And I don't want to lie to you guys and like memorize it quickly now or like read it off my phone. But I do know, guys, I remember the verse. Look at God. I actually do remember. It was Psalm 136 verse 1, and it says, Rejoice in the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. I'm really glad I remembered, because that's the scripture that's kept me anchored throughout the loss of my mom this past week. Like, I don't know why I forgot that was the last verse standing. But yes, do you see that this stuff works in real time? Like, the fact that was the last verse standing of last week, and God knew what was going to happen. He knew I was going to need that verse in my heart. So the fact that I had it memorized, it was active, and it was a breathing and living word, and it kept me going. It's the reason why I'm sitting here today, because his love endures forever, because he is good, and he called me to this place, and he knew that my mom was going to pass away. He knew every single thing, and I'm trusting in him to see me through. So that's why I'm here. So yeah, that was last week's verse. I hope you guys remembered it. I hope you said it with me. Okay. And this week's verse is my personal favorite verse. Since we're talking about my testimony, I thought let me share my favorite verse. This is the verse that began my relationship with God. It is Matthew 6 verse 33. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. I love this verse. Why? Because it's true. When you seek first his kingdom, everything else will be added to you. Provision, peace, joy, love, everything else that you need, everything that you could possibly ask him for, it is added to you once you seek first his kingdom. If you have a business idea, seek first his kingdom, and provision for capital will come through. If you hurt like me, if you're grieving, seek first his kingdom and you will find peace, you will find comfort. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. I've witnessed this. I'm a living, breathing testimony of this verse, and I will never forget it. It's even on my Instagram bio. So yeah, that is this week's last verse standing. Guys, keep it in your hearts, okay? It will still be standing it will be the last verse standing in my heart. Let's see if it's in yours next week. And yeah, guys, let us wrap it up for episode 4 of Come Correct with Christ. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast. And I will be back with part 2 next week.